I love a good mystery as much as the next guy. You know, secret codes, shady suspects, and clues that barely make sense until they do. Yeah, I eat that shit up, man. But can you actually run a satisfying mystery adventure solo? Spoiler, I think you totally can. And Mythic Magazine number 6 is right here to show us how. Let's break it down. Hi, hello, dudes, and welcome back to the Grouch Couch. I am Turk, and around here we do all different kinds of stuff. We play games, we break rules, and we yell at our imaginary friends. Today, though, we're diving into Mythic Magazine number 6 and talking about how to create your own solo mystery adventures. Because, yeah, mysteries hit different, but pulling one off by yourself, that's a whole different puzzle. At the top here, though, I do want to say I just got my wisdom teeth pulled out. You can see my face is kind of swollen here, so I'm talking a little bit funny. I promise I don't always look like this, so just bear with me here. So recently I was looking into a system called Vaesen. It looks really, really cool, but it's kind of a mystery, and I'm not sure if I can get my group to run it with me, so I was thinking about running it solo, but I was also like, how the heck do you run a solo mystery? I mean, Call of Cthulhu and Monster of the Week, those would be so cool to run solo, but is it possible? And that's what got me digging into Mythic Magazine number 6, and I really think there is so many cool extra little things and roll charts and stuff that the creator of Mythic Magazine has provided us with in this magazine, and I really kind of wanted to talk about it and show it off to you guys just to show you that, yeah, dude, it's possible and it could be completely rad. So let's get into it. Before I start scrolling through this, I want to talk a little bit of why mysteries could be tricky solo, because the thing is that mystery stories are always about the unknown, right? Normally there is a GM who knows who the killer is. They know the end of the mystery, they know how, and they know why, and they are going to drop clues for the players throughout the whole adventure so the players can feel clever and they can piece it together, you know? But when you're solo, you're the player and the GM, right? We already know this. So if you already know who the killer is, then where is the mystery? So that is the trick to solo mysteries, is not knowing it all up front, just as like you're a player. You want to build the story up as you go, letting the mystery unfold naturally through your questions and through your oracle rolls, right? The surprise is going to hit you as well, and that's where the fun is going to live. So let's dig in and investigate a little bit more. Much like I said right there at the top, getting started right here in Mythic Magazine number 6. To start with, you're going to treat a mystery adventure like any other mystery adventure. You're going to generate your open scene the way that you normally do. You're going to have all your lists and things ready. You're going to have your dice ready and your chaos factor set. There is no change to how Mythic itself works, but the mystery rules are additional mechanics that work alongside the normal Mythic rules. And they include a bunch of extra cool Mythic mystery stuff in Mythic Magazine number 6, which reminds me, I'm going to let you know if you want to pick up this magazine for yourself so you could print it and have it and play with it and do your mystery adventures. You could use our drive-through RPG link down in the description to help support the show if you want to pick this bad boy up. We really do appreciate that. All right. So, usually the opening scene of a mythic adventure provides the first thread to pursue, right? This is likely where your mystery will begin. If you've decided that this adventure will be a mystery, then you likely want to establish the mystery itself in the opening scene, which I think is just great advice. If you're doing a mystery, you should know up front what you're trying to solve. So, for instance, our opening scene says a man has been murdered in his study at his home. The door to the study was locked, so local authorities have no idea how he was killed. You're the private investigator hired by a family member to discover the killer and bring them to justice, right? So, in our first scene, our character's probably going to be examining the crime scene. We're probably going to be talking to the family. We're probably going to be doing all kinds of stuff, but our thread is going to be to discover who the killer is, right? And then we could also have another thread figuring out how the killer got in there with the door remaining locked. But here's a fun thing here. They actually include this really cool chart thing called the Mystery Matrix right here in this Mythic Magazine that I think is super cool. And it has a D100 roll chart that goes all the way around here. It has 20 spaces, I think is what it was, where you can roll on these for your clues. And then it has 10 spots for suspects. And it also has a spot down here for progress points that you earn every time you actually identify a clue clue or a suspect, and we'll get into how you can use those progress points to help your story in a little bit. But at the top here, it says, what is your mystery? So in our example, it's going to be to discover who the killer is, right? We're going to drop that right into our mystery on the top of this page. So it also suggests that when you find some kind of a clue, you can actually link those clues to the suspects by drawing lines, as shown in this picture here, this picture example. And then you could even above that line write how many mystery points or points it might give you. And over time, those clues might start to make more and more sense, and you can actually give yourself more points as those clues make sense over time, increasing that number. So it even says here, in other words, it could climb up to 3, 4, 5 or more. The more an individual clue gets linked to a specific suspect, the more it's associated with the clue suspect becomes. Very, very cool. By default, though, a clue connected to a suspect counts as 1 clue point. And we'll talk about how clue points help you a little bit here and there, right? So finding clues and suspects, of course, is kind of a difficult thing, right? But they actually have a thing in here called discovery checks, which I think discovery checks just kind of puts a name to doing this kind of mystery thing, because you're going to be taking the actions and rolling dice on your normal system, and discovery checks puts a name to it, right, which is going to help you stay organized. So in here it even says first your character has to do something to earn the discovery checks. You're going to be asking a question and making that check. The player decides his character needs to make a research skill roll using the rules of the RPG that they're playing, or they might ask the fake question, does he find the records he's looking for? And then we're going to make that check. Right? And then afterwards, we get to make a discovery check if we succeed on that first research check, right? We can make a discovery check, which can be yes, no, or exceptional yes here, or even exceptional no. But when those happens, we actually get to roll on the mystery elements table. I love a good new table, boys and girls. Look at this cool table right here. So after you get a yes or a no, right? A yes result means you get to make a roll on the mystery elements table. Choose whether to roll for clues or suspects, whichever seems most appropriate for the situation. And as you see here, it's 1d10 plus your PP, which is your progress points, your mystery points. What do they call it? Let's scroll back up here. Progress points. Yes, indeed. So plus your progress points, and a 16 or more gives you a link clue to a suspect, and it actually gives you more progress points. Or I think link clue to suspect, progress points -6. You actually lose 6 progress points, but you get that link clue. You also get clincher clues or link clues to suspects, and it has clues and suspects roll charts. Very, very cool stuff. So if we go down here, there's another one for a mystery special table, which you could roll on periodically. It actually explains a little bit more how and when to do that in here. But 1 through 10, you unclinch, or you can remove a clue/suspect, or you can intensify a clue, or progress points. Deduct 3 points from the progress points for this column. Clues or suspects. The value cannot drop below 0, because you might have rolled on it and learned that, oh no, that clue doesn't actually match the suspect anymore, and you've got to subtract it now. It's kind of fun. It's fun stuff. Sorry, I'm a little bit excited about this mystery thing. I really am, because the idea of running Monster of the Week or something solo is so cool. I love Monster of the Week. It's such a good book. I know it's part of the apocalypse, whatever, but I like it a lot. And so being able to run a mystery that way is just such a cool thing. And Vaesen, the upcoming book I might try to run on the channel. I don't know if I'm going to record it. If I do, make sure to check it out. But the idea of running this mystery solo and learning things, and my character in there, like I think I said it in this video, I don't know if I did, but in Vaesen, your party basically moves into this like haunted mansion kind of thing, and it kind of serves as your home base, and it's given to you by a bunch of previous investigators that used to investigate these special, monsters and stuff. But in I'm playing it solo, so my idea is that my character actually inherits this home base, this mansion, this cool thing from his last deceased family member ever. So while he's living there, he actually gets to uncover mysteries about his family and while they were living there and who they were, and maybe some links and ties and connections that they might have had to this current mystery that he's delving into. And he's trying to learn more about his family and why he has this cool seer ability where he can also see these monsters. And so I'm very excited about mysteries right now, is all I'm trying to say. Very cool stuff. So in this magazine, we also get mystery event focus tables, which is very, very cool. It's going to help us out a lot. We're going to replace this focus table with our other focus tables because it includes suspect elements and clue elements in our event focus tables for our random events, right? We're going to interpret these things, but one of the main things as well is we have a mystery descriptors table for clues and for suspects. So whenever we roll and we get that thing, we're like, oh, I need more details about the suspect or even about this clue. We get to roll on this here chart, and it's just fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about this, and I'm going to give you some advice from my just readings through this whole thing, a little bit that might help you now that we've covered it a little bit. The Mythic method using mysteries the Turk way, right? We're going to start with the basic premise, like a noble has been poisoned at a dinner party. Boom, done. We've got that. Then we're going to ask what seems to have happened. We're going to learn about it, right? And then we're going to use Mythic to explore the truth. The truth, though, has not yet been decided. You are going to be discovering it as you play. Mythic's chaos and logic tools are going to allow you to build things on the fly. You're going to get to ask questions like, is the butler lying? Or was the wine tampered with? And you're going to let the oracle shape your suspicions. You're going to track your clues, your suspects, and your red herrings using this new Mythic matrix thing, and your threads list, of course. So you're basically going to be investigating your own imagination here, which is rad. So, even though this is improvised, you're going to want a loose mystery structure. It's going to help you a ton. There are things that you're going to want to remember, maybe write them down, right? The crime, what happened, how the scene opens, the suspect, who could have done it, the clues, stuff that you're going to find at different points in different directions, right? In your scenes, the twist, something that's going to flip, right? And I think that always happens on random events while you're playing Mythic anyway. So you don't really got to worry about adding in the twist. I think it's going to happen. Then you're going to have your reveal and your resolution, right? And these steps never need to happen in order because the reveal could happen earlier on and you know who it is. And then you got to spend time tracking down that suspect because you don't know where they are. Or maybe you have to fight them. None of these things have to happen in order. You can even make yourself a D6 roll chart for crime, suspects, clues, twist, reveal, and resolution. You could totally do that. Of course, maybe don't have the resolution as the first scene, but or it could. Maybe there's a resolution and maybe you have amnesia and you got to work backwards. Like my brain's just going. So one of the things here though is you're going to want to keep it fair and fun. Mysteries only work if you stay honest with yourself. Like don't force a conclusion just because it sounds cool. You're going to want to let the oracle guide you, right? You shouldn't maybe retcon anything unless it's really necessary. Also, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Whenever you build your investigator, make sure to give them flaws, just like you would any other character. For example, my character, I think, might have a little bit of alcoholism going on. He might be drinking a lot. So things might happen because, he's hungover or because he drank too much the night before and forgot about this or that. It's kind of one of the flaws that my character might have. I don't know. I haven't decided. But it's important to think about flaws when you're building your investigator. And it's in this system also, it's not about being clever. It's about creating a cool story and you're in the driver's seat. When you're running a normal adventure with actual players, you do want to make sure the players feel clever. They get to put these things together and it feels awesome. But in solo, you don't really get to experience that. It's more about the story. So maybe a quick few story seeds to put you in the driver's seat. Cursed statue goes missing in a museum. A murder weapon was found, but it's from the future, so someone might die. Could be a cool sci-fi thing. Someone's impersonating the king, but no one believes you. Right. Could be a cool fantasy thing. So you could drop these into a session and just let them go. And I think mystery solos are absolutely possible, and they could be hella fun. If you have ideas for characters, mystery threads, or things that might help other solo players, please drop them down there in the comments below so us as a community can build up this solo world together. I recently joined the Mythic Discord, and I am having a blast over there. I'm kind of new to this solo stuff. I've only been at least publicly doing it for about a year or so, and I have been welcomed into this world with open arms. So thank you so much for welcoming me into this solo world. And I'm so happy to share all this stuff with all of you guys and be a part of this community. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. For now, my friends, take a seat on the couch and roll initiative, at least for a little while. Roll on that, weirdos. I've been Turk. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm going to go nurse this wisdom tooth. That was a lot of talking. All right. Bye-bye.